Beloved chosen one. Stop for a moment and breathe. Do not scroll past this like it is just another voice competing for your attention. Something heavier is resting on these words because something heavier is resting on these days ahead. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 3 ordinary names, yet you feel an unusual weight attached to them. Not fear responsibility, not panic awareness. Your spirit recognizes timing even when your mind tries to dismiss it. You are not imagining the tension you've been feeling lately. The pressure is not coming from failure, it's coming from proximity. You are close to a shift, and shifts always expose hesitation. That uneasy feeling you carry into quiet moments is not confusion. It's discernment waking up. You have reached a point where neutrality is no longer safe. Coasting has become costly. Doing nothing is no longer rest. It is a decision in disguise. And these next 3 days are designed to reveal that truth to you gently, but firmly. Look at your daily life. On the surface, everything seems functional. You go to work, you pay bills, you answer messages. But beneath that routine, there is a growing sense that you are living below what you know is possible. Perhaps your job no longer challenges you, yet you keep telling yourself to endure because it feels secure. Maybe you've been meaning to apply for something new, start a side project, or finally speak up, but comfort keeps whispering. Wait a little longer. In your finances, you may not be drowning, but you are not advancing either. Money leaves as quickly as it comes. You know you should make changes, budgeting, learning, cutting something off, yet procrastination feels easier than discipline. So weeks turn into months, months into years. In your family or closest relationships, there are conversations you keep postponing. Words you rehearse silently but never release. Apologies delayed. Boundaries avoided. You hope time will soften things. But time without truth only hardens silence. These are not random struggles, they are invitations. Wednesday arrives as awareness. A moment when something inside you says, enough pretending this is fine. Thursday stands as decision, not emotional, but intentional. Friday seals direction, not with drama, but with consequence. What you choose to confront or avoid begins to echo forward. This is why your spirit feels restless. You are standing at a threshold, and thresholds demand movement. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between 2 opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. That question is not aggressive, it is clarifying. Wavering drains strength, divided loyalty exhausts the soul. Heaven is not pressuring you to be perfect, only to be decided. Notice something powerful here. The verse does not ask if you believe. It asks if you will choose. Faith that never moves eventually weakens into frustration. Let me give you a simple, everyday picture. Imagine standing in a grocery store aisle, holding the same product you've bought for years. You know it's not healthy for you, but it's familiar. Right next to it is an alternative you've been considering, better, wiser, slightly more effort. You hesitate, then grab the old one again. No catastrophe happens. Life continues, but improvement quietly slips away. That is how missed windows work. This prophetic moment is not about loud miracles. It is about quiet alignment. Here is the hope you must not miss when you choose clarity. God supplies courage. When you choose obedience, God releases peace. When you choose movement, even with trembling hands, strength meets you halfway. You are not expected to leap across the entire future. You are asked to take the next honest step. Let me ask you plainly and answer it inwardly with integrity. What decision have you been postponing? Because choosing it would require you to let something comfortable die. This is not condemnation. This is compassion wrapped in truth. You are not late. You are being summoned out of indecision. Mercy is still present, but mercy does not mean endless delay. It means you are warned before consequences teach the lesson instead. These 3 days are not meant to overwhelm you. They are meant to focus you, to strip away excuses, to remind you that destiny responds to movement, not intention alone. If this message speaks to you, take a moment now, like the video, share it with someone who feels stuck, and subscribe so you remain connected to what is unfolding. This is not about algorithms, it is about alignment. At the end of this section, mark your awareness. Type 77 in the comments, not as superstition, but as a declaration that you recognize this moment and you refuse to drift through it unaware. You are not weak for feeling this pressure. You are strong enough to respond to it. Wednesday is calling your attention. Thursday will ask your answer. Friday will remember what you chose. Before you move on, sit with this awareness for a moment longer. Do not rush to the next noise, the next task, the next distraction. Let the weight of choice settle gently. What you honor in stillness today becomes strength when pressure rises tomorrow. These words will return to you when the moment arrives, perhaps unexpectedly, perhaps quietly. When it does, remember, clarity is already present. Courage is already available. All that remains is whether you will act when the door is open, or explain later why you didn't. Chosen one. Now that your awareness has been awakened, the next question is not whether God is speaking, but whether you know how to recognize the season you are standing in. Many miss divine timing not because they are rebellious, but because they are rushed, distracted, or misaligned in pace. Discernment is not mystical fog, it is practiced clarity. To discern the season, you must first understand this truth. God does not speak only through dramatic signs. More often, He speaks through patterns, repeated nudges, recurring thoughts, consistent interruptions, and an inner tension that refuses to go away. A season announces itself quietly before it declares itself loudly. Start with your emotional patterns. Notice what no longer satisfies you. What used to excite you now feels heavy. What once felt optional now feels urgent. This is one of the clearest indicators of a season shifting. When God prepares to move you, He often removes your peace from what once kept you comfortable, not to punish you, but to prevent stagnation. In everyday life, this might look like waking up tired even after rest. Not because your body is exhausted, but because your soul is underutilized. You go to work, but something inside you whispers, "This is not wrong, but it is no longer enough." Discernment begins when you stop numbing that voice with entertainment, noise, or constant busyness. Next, mark the days with reverence. This does not mean fear or superstition. Reverence means intentional awareness. It means you stop treating every day as interchangeable. Some days are weightier than others. Some conversations matter more. Some decisions echo longer, practically. This could mean you begin your morning differently during this window. You wake up 10 minutes earlier. You sit without your phone. You acknowledge God's presence before you acknowledge the world's demands. You speak less impulsively. You listen more carefully while you slow your reactions, especially when emotions run high. Think of a normal weekday. You receive a message that triggers frustration from a coworker, a family member, a client. In past seasons, you might have reacted immediately, defensively. But this season calls for restraint. Reverence teaches you to ask, "What is this moment requiring of me?" instead of, How do I feel right now? There is also reverence in how you handle opportunities. Not every open door is a calling. Some are distractions disguised as progress. When everything feels urgent, discernment helps you identify what is important. If an opportunity pulls you away from your values, fractures your peace, or demands compromise, it is likely not aligned no matter how attractive it appears. Now comes the hardest adjustment, aligning your pace. Many people are spiritually sincere but chronically rushed. They move faster than their obedience can sustain. When your pace is misaligned, you may be doing good things at the wrong speed, which still produces burnout. Alignment asks difficult questions. Are you constantly exhausted? Do you struggle to be present with people you love? Do you feel guilty when you rest, as if stillness equals laziness? These are signs your pace is dictated by pressure, not purpose. In practical terms, aligning your pace may mean saying no to one commitment that drains you, even if it disappoints someone. It may mean restructuring your schedule so your most important tasks are done when your energy is highest, not when others demand access. It may mean limiting your exposure to voices that constantly accelerate your anxiety: news, social media, endless opinions. Consider a simple scenario: dinner with your family. Your phone is on the table. Notifications light up. You are physically present but mentally elsewhere. Alignment in this season might mean something as small and as radical as putting the phone in another room. That act alone restores authority over your attention. And authority over attention is foundational to discernment. Scripture gives us a timeless anchor for this season. The ancient words recorded in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 remind us, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. Notice that it does not say everything happens whenever you want. It says there is a time. Wisdom is knowing which time you are in planting or uprooting, speaking or staying silent, advancing or waiting. Many struggle because they are trying to harvest in a planting season or rest in a building season. Discernment realigns expectation. It tells you whether to push forward or pull back. Here is a grounding question you must answer honestly. What are you forcing right now that God may be asking you to prepare for instead? Preparation is not inactivity. It is intentional refinement. It is learning, pruning, strengthening foundations. It is quieter than performance, but far more powerful. Hope lives here, not in pressure, but in precision. When you discern the season, mark the days with reverence and align your pace. Life begins to feel less chaotic and more directed. You stop reacting to everything and start responding with wisdom. You will not miss what is meant for you when you move at the speed of obedience. You will not arrive late when you honor timing over impulse. And you will not burn out when your pace matches your purpose. This season is not asking you to do more. It is asking you to do what matters deliberately, attentively, and with a heart tuned to heaven. Chosen one, the awareness has sharpened, the season has been named, and the days have been marked with intention. Now you stand at the most uncomfortable place in any spiritual journey, the space between knowing and doing. This is where many stall, not because they are incapable, but because obedience feels heavier than ignorance. You can no longer claim you didn't know. And that changes everything. What makes this moment difficult is not that the path is unclear. It is that the cost is now visible. Obedience always looks simple from a distance, but personal up close. It touches habits, relationships, identity. The version of you that learned how to survive by avoiding risk begins to feel threatened. This is where internal resistance rises. You may notice it as procrastination disguised as wisdom. You tell yourself you are waiting for confirmation, but deep down, you are waiting for comfort. Yet comfort is rarely the companion of calling. In everyday life, this resistance shows up subtly. You feel prompted to speak honestly at work, but you soften your words until the truth disappears. You know a financial change is needed, but you postpone it one more month. You sense a relationship needs redefining, but you keep the peace at the cost of clarity. None of these feel dramatic. That is why they are dangerous. Small delays compound quietly. There is also another tension at work, fear of loss. Obedience often feels like subtraction before it looks like multiplication. You fear losing approval, stability, familiarity. What if obedience costs you something you are not ready to release? This is where perspective must shift. Obedience is not about losing something. It is about being repositioned to receive what cannot reach you where you are standing now. Picture this: you are holding onto a rope tied to a dock. A boat pulls up, meant to take you forward. But as long as you keep gripping the dock, the boat cannot move you. Letting go feels like loss until you realize it is the only way to go where you were meant to go. This season is asking for release, not recklessness, intentional surrender, not impulsive action. In practical terms, obedience might look unglamorous. It could mean setting a strict boundary with your time so your energy stops leaking. It might mean telling the truth in a conversation you've avoided, even if your voice shakes. It could mean starting something small, a daily discipline, a consistent habit instead of waiting for motivation to magically appear. Obedience is often quiet, but it is never passive. There will be moments this week when you feel pressure to revert to old patterns. Familiar distractions will call your name. Old comforts will seem safer. This is not coincidence. When alignment approaches, resistance intensifies. Not because you are weak, but because movement is imminent. You must remember this: fear does not mean stop. Fear often means this matters. The ancient words recorded in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, still echo with clarity: be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Strength is not the absence of fear. Courage is movement in spite of it. And discouragement often arrives right before transition. Let's ground this in something ordinary. Imagine standing at a crosswalk. The light changes to green, but traffic is loud, fast, intimidating. You hesitate. The signal has already given permission, but fear delays movement. Eventually, the light changes again, not because you were rejected, but because timing moved on. Obedience requires you to trust the signal, not the noise. This is why discernment without action leads to frustration. Revelation without response becomes weight. What you do with what you know determines whether it becomes freedom or burden. Now, hear this clearly: hope is not absent here. It is very near. On the other side of obedience is relief you cannot manufacture, peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, a quiet confidence that settles in because you are no longer divided within yourself. You will still face challenges, but you will face them aligned. You will still work hard, but without the constant internal conflict, you will still grow, but without dragging the past behind you. Let me ask you directly: what part of your life is asking for courage right now, not tomorrow, not someday, but this week? Do not answer quickly, let the truth surface. At this point, I want you to mark this moment in a simple but intentional way. In the comments, write this phrase: I choose clarity. Here is why this matters. Saying it publicly, even briefly, is not about performance. It is about alignment. You are naming your decision to stop wavering internally. You are choosing honesty over avoidance, direction over drift, Words shape posture. Posture shapes movement. I choose clarity means you are willing to see things as they are, not as you wish they were. It means you are ready to act on what you already know. It is a declaration of readiness, not perfection. This season does not require you to have everything figured out. It requires you to stop pretending that indecision is neutral. Indecision is a choice, and it always chooses delay. You are not designed to live in constant hesitation. You are designed to move with intention, even when the path unfolds step by step. Hold on to this truth as the days progress. Obedience creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence, and confidence makes room for greater responsibility. What awaits you is not pressure, but expansion, not confusion, but coherence, not loss, but alignment. Stand up internally, decide inwardly, move faithfully. The door is open, but it responds to motion. Chosen one, you have crossed an invisible line. Not outwardly, nothing dramatic has changed yet, but inwardly, something has settled. The struggle is no longer about whether you hear the call. It is about whether you will remain consistent once the emotion fades. This is where many stumble. They respond powerfully in moments of intensity, but drift quietly when life returns to routine. This section is about endurance, not loud endurance, but faithful endurance. The kind that shows up when no one is watching. The kind that keeps walking even when the road stops feeling meaningful. You are learning that destiny is not built in highlights. It is shaped in repetition, in choosing again what you already chose before. Think about your daily rhythm. Morning comes and the world demands your attention immediately. Messages and responsibilities, expectations. It is easy to forget what stirred your heart just days ago. That is why alignment must move from inspiration into structure. What you felt must become how you live. In work, this looks like integrity when shortcuts are tempting. You could exaggerate, delay, or deflect responsibility and no one would notice. But you don't. Not because you fear consequences, but because you are becoming someone who walks whole. Wholeness costs more than convenience, but it pays in peace. In finances, endurance shows up as patience. You resist the urge to escape stress with impulsive spending. You choose planning over panic, discipline over denial. Brick by brick, you are building something that can hold weight. In relationships, endurance is gentler. It looks like listening instead of winning, like staying present when it would be easier to withdraw. This kind of consistency heals more than dramatic gestures ever could. Now hear this carefully. Endurance does not mean forcing yourself to run non-stop. It means learning when to walk, when to rest, and when to keep going even if progress feels slow. Misunderstood endurance becomes burnout. True endurance is sustainable. Imagine a long road at dusk. Lamps line the path, not flooding it with light, but offering just enough to see the next few steps. You are not asked to see the entire journey, only to keep moving while the light continues to appear. Some sit down and admire the lamp they're under. Others walk until the next one reveals itself. No one forces you to walk, but the path only unfolds for those who do. The ancient words recorded in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 1. Speak directly into this moment. Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. The race marked out for us, not someone else's pace, not someone else's path. Comparison drains endurance faster than hardship ever will. You are allowed to move at your assigned speed. This is also why some voices energize you and others exhaust you. Endurance grows where nourishment is present. If you keep placing yourself where your spirit is constantly drained, consistency becomes impossible. Think of a garden. Seeds do not grow because they were planted once with excitement. They grow because they are watered consistently. The gardener does not shout at the soil, they tend it. Your life right now is that soil. Every time you choose alignment over impulse, you water it. Every time you rest intentionally instead of numbing yourself, you allow sunlight in. Every time you remove what competes with your focus, you pull a weed, and slowly, almost invisibly, growth happens. Here is where the invitation becomes gentle. Along this path, you will notice companions, others walking under the same lamps. You will sense shared direction, not crowd noise, but steady footsteps. If you feel drawn to linger where encouragement flows, that is not obligation. It is resonance. You don't join a journey because you are pressured. You join because something in you recognizes nourishment and safety. Think of a fire on a cold evening. No one forces you to step closer. You do it because warmth is there, light is there. Where do you feel strengthened rather than drained? That question alone will guide your next choices. Endurance also requires forgiveness, especially toward yourself. Some days you will hesitate. Do not turn momentary weakness into identity. Consistency is not perfection repeated. It is return repeated. Return to what grounds you. Return to what clarifies you. This is not a command. It is an open gate. If you choose to stay near voices that value depth over noise and truth over performance, let it be because your spirit feels seen. And if you don't, the road remains. The lamps still light. You are not rejected. You are invited. You are not chased into purpose. You are drawn into it. Picture a small fire burning at the edge of a long road. It is not loud. It simply burns steady, warm, patient. Some pass by, others pause, surprised by how much warmth they were missing. No one is commanded to sit by the fire, but those who do often realize they were colder than they admitted. If something in you feels drawn to remain near this flame, that choice is not obligation. It is recognition. Recognition that endurance needs nourishment. Recognition that even strong travelers rest where light is faithful. This fire does not trap, it restores. It does not demand loyalty, it offers warmth. And often, the most beautiful commitments are not made under pressure but under peace. Chosen one. Before you think this is about symbols or future speculation, listen carefully. The story of the seal of God versus the mark of the world is not only a vision of the end, it is a mirror of everyday life. It is a story that has been unfolding quietly since the beginning, repeating itself in choices so ordinary they rarely feel spiritual. In the scriptures, there is a moment when distinction is made. Not everyone is marked the same way. Some receive a seal from God unseen, inward, eternal. Others carry the mark of the world visible, practical, immediately rewarded. The difference is not appearance, it is allegiance. It is. The seal of God was never about ink on skin. It was about ownership, identity, belonging. It said, "This one is mine." The mark of the world, on the other hand, promised access, the ability to buy, sell, advance, survive. One spoke to eternity, the other spoke to convenience. And here is the uncomfortable truth: most people do not choose the mark of the world because they hate God. They choose it because they are tired, pressured, afraid, or trying to keep up. This is where the story enters your daily life. You see it at work. You are asked to compromise just a little, adjust the numbers, soften the truth. Stay silent when something is wrong. Nothing dramatic, no thunder. Just a subtle suggestion: this is how things are done if you want to move forward. The world offers its mark in the form of approval and promotion. God offers his seal through integrity that may slow you down, but keeps you whole. In finances, the contrast appears again. The world says, spend now, Worry later. Measure your worth by what you own. Chase the image, not the foundation. God's seal calls you to stewardship, patience, restraint, values that rarely trend, but always protect. One path gives instant relief, the other gives long-term peace. In relationships, the world's mark whispers, perform to be loved. Curate yourself. Say what keeps you accepted. Avoid truth if it risks rejection. God's seal invites something harder and holier: honesty. Boundaries, love without pretending, or though one wins crowds, the other builds covenant. This is why this story matters now. Because the mark of the world rarely feels evil. It feels efficient, normal, necessary. It comes with logic, deadlines, social pressure. The seal of God, by contrast, often feels costly, slower, lonely at first. It requires trust that obedience will sustain you even when it doesn't immediately reward you. The ancient words recorded in the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 3, reveal this quietly powerful truth: do not harm the earth or the sea or the trees until we put a seal on the foreheads of the servants of our God. Notice where the seal is placed: the forehead, the place of decision, the place of thought, the place where values are formed before actions follow. This is not about fear, it is about clarity. You are being marked every day, not physically, but spiritually, by what you consistently choose, what you prioritize, what you protect, what you refuse. Here is a simple, ordinary image. Imagine two doors at a subway station. One is crowded, loud, moving fast. It gets you somewhere quickly, but you're not sure where. The other is quieter, less obvious. Fewer people choose it. The sign promises a longer walk, but a clear destination. No one forces you into either door. But once you step through, direction is set. The hope in this story is profound. God's seal is not earned by perfection. It is received through loyalty, through choosing Him again and again in small, unseen moments. You may feel right now that you've already compromised too much, that you've worn the world's mark out of survival. Here, this clearly: seals can be renewed. Allegiance can be realigned. Mercy still speaks before judgment ever does. This is not a message of exclusion. It is a message of invitation. God is not asking you to withdraw from life. He is asking you to live within it without surrendering your soul to it. Let me ask you directly. Without symbolism, where do you feel pressure to trade your values for convenience right now? That question reveals more than any prophecy. And here is the promise you need to hold on to: those who carry God's seal are not abandoned in the world. They are sustained in it, protected in ways that are not always visible but always real. You may move slower, but you move safer. You may be misunderstood, but you remain intact. You may look behind, but you are ahead where it matters. Before this section ends, I want you to mark your awareness not with fear, but with intention. In the comments, write the number 144, not as superstition, not as ritual, but as a reminder that you choose identity over access, faithfulness over ease, and the seal of God over the approval of the world. Because in the end, what marks you matters more than what rewards you. When you write 144, you are not predicting anything. You are acknowledging a choice. You are saying, I recognize the difference between being owned by pressure and being anchored in truth. That number becomes a quiet marker, a reminder to yourself that when decisions demand compromise, you remember who you belong to, and you choose alignment over convenience, even when no one else is watching. Chosen one. Now we speak about what most people avoid, not out of rebellion but discomfort. Delay. Not the loud kind that announces itself, but the quiet kind that disguises itself as patience, caution, or wisdom. Delay rarely feels dangerous in the moment. It feels reasonable. Some But spiritually, delay is never neutral. It always shapes something. This section is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to sober you. Because what happens when you delay is not always immediate loss. Often, it is gradual dulling. At first, nothing seems wrong. Life continues, that you still wake up, still work, still laugh, still function. That is what makes delay deceptive. You assume that because nothing collapsed, nothing changed. But something did change inside. Sensitivity fades before blessing disappears. Discernment weakens before direction is lost. Urgency softens before obedience stops. You begin to rationalize what once convicted you. What used to trouble your spirit now barely registers. Not because it became right, but because repetition trained your conscience to be quiet. This is how delay works. It does not drag you backward violently. It allows you to drift forward slowly without alignment. In everyday life, delay shows up subtly. You keep postponing a difficult conversation in your family, telling yourself it's not the right time. Months pass. Distance grows. What could have been healed with honesty now requires repair with effort. You delay making a necessary financial change. You keep hoping things will work themselves out. Debt grows quietly. Stress becomes normalized. You adapt to pressure instead of addressing the source. You delay stepping into responsibility at work, applying, leading, speaking up. You wait until you feel fully ready. Meanwhile, someone else moves forward. Not more gifted, just more willing. Delay does not always disqualify you, but it does often cost you timing. And timing matters more than people realize. There are seasons when obedience carries grace, ease, flow, support. When those seasons pass, the same action may still be possible, but heavier. What once felt aligned now feels forced, not because God changed, but because the moment did. This is not punishment, it is consequence. Just like fruit left too long on a branch does not become sweeter, it spoils. You must also understand this delay trains you. Each postponed response makes the next postponement easier. Over time, hesitation becomes instinct. You stop trusting your spiritual reflexes. You start negotiating with what you once obeyed immediately. This is how people slowly lose clarity, not through one rebellion, but through many small deferrals. The ancient words recorded in the book of Proverbs, Chapter 27, verse 1 speak plainly into this reality. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. This is not about fear of the future. It is about respect for the present. Tomorrow is not guaranteed to carry the same grace as today. Conviction is a gift, but gifts are not permanent if ignored. Here is a simple image. Imagine a door that opens automatically when you approach. The sensor responds to movement. If you stop walking, the door pauses. If you turn away, it closes. The door did not reject you. It simply responded to motion or the lack of it. Many people stand waiting for the door to open wider, not realizing it opens because they move. Delay also affects identity. When you postpone obedience long enough, you begin to adjust your self-image. You tell yourself, this is just who I am. I'm cautious. I take my time. I don't rush. What started as wisdom slowly becomes an excuse. And then, one day, you hear the same call again, but it feels distant, weaker, less urgent. That is not because God stopped speaking. It is because your inner hearing changed. This is the most sobering part. Delay does not make God abandon you, but it can make his voice harder to recognize. Hope, however, is still present here, because awareness means you are not beyond correction. You are not condemned for delay, you are warned by it. The fact that this message still unsettles you means sensitivity remains. The fact that something in you still resists complacency means alignment is still possible. You are not too late, but you are being shown the cost of waiting without obedience. Let this settle gently. God is patient, but seasons are precise. Grace covers mistakes. Timing governs momentum. This is why urgency does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers not to scare you, but to spare you. Here is the grounding truth to hold on to: responding now does not erase past delay, but it prevents future erosion. Obedience today restores sharpness tomorrow. Clarity returns when movement resumes. Peace deepens when decisions align. Strength renews when hesitation ends. You are not asked to sprint, you are asked to step. And stepping today still matters. Do not underestimate the mercy in being warned before numbness becomes normal. Do not confuse continued functioning with continued alignment. Delay has a voice, but so does wisdom. And right now, wisdom is not condemning you. It is calling you forward, while the door still responds to movement. Delay does not disappear on its own. It dissolves only when replaced by a clear, obedient step. Even a small response restores sensitivity, reminding your spirit that movement still matters and alignment is still within reach. What you choose next does not need to be dramatic. It needs to be honest. A single faithful action today can reopen clarity tomorrow and prevent quiet drifting from becoming a settled direction. Chosen one, you have reached the place where the noise fades and meaning remains. Not the end, but the narrowing. The road behind you is wide with explanation, justification, and delay. The road ahead is quieter, clearer, and honest. This is where identity settles. This is where movement becomes legacy. You have listened long enough to recognize that this journey was never about information. It was about formation. Something has been reshaped in you across these sections, not emotionally, but structurally. You do not feel rushed anymore. You feel resolved. Resolution does not shout, it steadies. Now you understand that destiny is not dramatic at first glance. It looks like choosing truth when no one applauds, like returning again to alignment after missteps, like staying awake when comfort invites sleep. This is not heroic in the world's eyes, but it is sacred. Think about your life as it truly is. Morning routines, commutes, conversation, bills, meals, relationships that require patience, work that requires integrity. None of this looks prophetic, yet all of it is. Because prophecy is not only what God says about the future, it is what your present obedience builds quietly. This is why the final movement is not urgency, it is invitation. Imagine a library late at night, rows of books most untouched. Lamps glow softly above wooden tables. No one forces you to sit. No one checks attendance. But those who do sit find something rare: focus without pressure, knowledge without noise, companionship without competition. Some people walk past that library every day. Others step inside once and never forget how it felt. What you have encountered here is not a demand to stay. It is the discovery that places exist where your spirit does not have to perform to belong. And that matters, because the world trains you to keep moving, consuming, reacting. It rarely teaches you how to remain, how to listen, how to deepen, how to build something lasting rather than viral. Remaining is not stagnation, remaining is cultivation. This is also why the final choice always feels gentle. God does not chase you into destiny, He reveals it, then waits to see whether you love it enough to walk toward it freely. The ancient words recorded in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 4. Speak with quiet authority, remain in me, and I will remain in you. Not strive, not impress, remain. Remaining means choosing environments that sharpen you instead of scatter you. It means feeding your spirit intentionally, not accidentally. It means recognizing that growth is relational. It happens best where truth is spoken without theatrics. Let's bring this into something tangible. Think of a long table prepared for a meal. Plates are set, bread is warm, chairs are empty, waiting. No one is assigned a seat. You are not rushed to eat. You are simply welcomed. You may sit for a moment or stay for hours. The table remains whether you choose it or not. Some people pass by, too busy to stop. Others sit briefly, then leave. But a few recognize nourishment when they see it and return regularly. Not because they must, but because they are changed by what they receive. If at any point you feel drawn to this table to stay near conversations that restore clarity, to share this space with others walking intentionally, to keep the lamps lit by returning, that choice is not obligation. It is alignment. Alignment always feels voluntary and beautiful. This is why the invitation now is quiet. If these words have steadied you, warmed you, or sharpened your direction, you may find yourself wanting to keep this place close, not as entertainment, but as nourishment. Like marking a trail so you can return. Like leaving a light on so others can find the path. Some choose to leave a trace, a sign they were here not for attention, but for connection. Others extend the table by inviting someone else who needs rest. And some decide to return regularly, not out of habit, but because growth happens where you consistently show up. Sometimes the staying is as simple as leaving a small sign behind, not a declaration, just a quiet acknowledgement. A gentle tap on the table to say, "This mattered to me." No announcement, just gratitude made visible. Others widen the table by inviting someone else, not with urgency, but with care, sharing the warmth they found so another soul does not have to walk the road alone in the cold. And some decide to return regularly, not out of habit, but because they recognize nourishment when they taste it. They keep this place within reach, knowing growth deepens where presence becomes consistent. A few even speak briefly, leaving a sentence, a thought, a reflection behind, not to be noticed, but to be honest, to mark that they were here, awake and listening. None of these are required, none are demanded, but each one keeps the light on. None of this is demanded. It is simply made available. Let me ask you one final, honest question. Where do you feel most yourself, where you are rushed to perform, or where you are allowed to become? Your answer will guide more than you realize. As you step forward from here, carry this with you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are precisely where refinement turns into direction. And if you choose to walk this road alongside others, to remain near the table, to tend the fire, to keep the lamps lit, let it be because it feels right, not because it feels required. The most enduring commitments are born from peace. The door remains open. The table remains set. The light remains on. You are free to walk on or to stay a while. Either way, you leave changed. As this message comes to rest, there is no rush to conclude it neatly. Some words are meant to land softly, then echo later when life grows quiet again. You do not need to remember everything you heard. You only need to keep what stayed with you, the sentence that slowed your breath, the image that lingered longer than the rest, the truth that felt uncomfortably familiar. Not every seed is meant to be planted immediately. Some are carried for a while, warming in the pocket of the heart until the right ground appears. If this message proved useful, not entertaining, not dramatic, but steady, you are free to pass it along. Like handing a lantern to someone walking behind you, not because they asked, but because you recognize the dark. Sharing does not mean convincing. It simply means offering light where it may be needed. And if this message was not for you in its entirety, that is also allowed. Wisdom does not demand agreement. Keep only what touched you. Release the rest without guilt. Growth often begins with a single sentence remembered at the right moment, not a whole sermon understood at once. You are not measured by how much you carry. You are shaped by what you choose to keep. Somewhere ahead, you will face a quiet decision. No audience, no urgency. Just a moment where a familiar truth returns and asks whether you are ready now. When that moment comes, you will remember this not because you tried to, but because it became part of you. There is no closing command here, no final instruction, only an open space. Walk on if you must, stay a while if you wish. Either way, take with you what made you more honest, more awake, more whole. That is enough.